Yeah, Brian, I guess I'll start. When you look at Kentucky, I mean, obviously Wandale's a problem on the outside, but then 1,000-yard rusher and Chris Rodriguez, kind of what challenges does that offense give you guys?
Well, I think you just hit the the hammer on the nail right there with those guys. Anytime you got a running game as well as a play action passing game that they have that's as lethal as it is, that gives you problems. Because if you're sitting there and you're trying to stop the run, boom, over the top. If you're trying to play pass, boom, they hand it off to Christian or Smoke or even Will. He's able to carry the football as well. So they do a good job of keeping the balance and presenting multiple problems that we got to make sure we're ready for.
Brian, you guys have gone against some pretty good offensive lines this season, but Kentucky arguably might have the best one all season. When you guys look at the film on that O-line, what stands out about that O-line when it comes to run block, pass block, and what makes them as good as they are?
Well, I think they, there's some big guys that move really well, and when you have big human beings that move well, can pass protect as well as run block and be as physical as they are, they present some problems for every defensive line that they go against. So, we got to do a great job of playing great technique, being physical as well, and being able to hold our point of attack.
Brian, you guys have always said it's important for you guys to first and foremost to stop the run. Is that more critical this week than even in a lot of other weeks, just because when they start running downhill, it kind of everything builds off of that?
Oh, absolutely. That's every week. You got to be able to stop the run. And, if you're not able to stop the run, you open up the floodgates for them to continue to run the route. So we got to do a great job of being gap discipline, great eye control, as well as tackling. Last time we played those guys, we didn't tackle well at all. And so that's one thing we got to do a really good job of this week.
Brian, you mentioned obviously that last game in 2019. There's a lot of different pieces to this defense. What makes you confident that this is a group that will be able to tackle and contain Kentucky's run game a little bit better this time around?
Well, I think we've shown it, this year, being able to – we've been better, since 2019 for sure. And I had a lot of growing pains from 19, the early part of 19 first game to even right now we've had some growing pains as well. But we've grown, from taking a team that was 2018 was giving up over 44, 45 points a game. And right now we're at, 24 points a game. So that's 20 points less, since we've gotten here, which is – I think it's pretty solid. So – I think everybody just understanding the scheme of the defense a little bit better, and we're tackling better, getting some guys in here that love the game for sure and that are playing it the right way.
Well, and a quick follow to that, you guys have stopped the run pretty well all year. I mean, Sean Tucker didn't run for 100 yards. I think you gave up 35 to Virginia. What's been the key, you think, for you guys? Is it something you guys doing schematically, or is it just guys fitting gaps and making tackles?
I think it's a little bit of both. You just try to, figure out what are they good at, and you got to make sure that, those are the things that you stop. And they may have some counters off of it, but you just got to rely on your keys and your techniques to be able to, match what they do. There's something that you hadn't seen. And but I think the guys are tackling well and getting downhill. And I think that's a big difference, Cam, right now as we're tackling well. And hopefully we can continue that trend this weekend.
Brian.
Hey, Coach, Michael McCammon, Cardinal Authority. One thing that's been said about the defense consistently throughout the year is regardless of what's happened on the scoreboard, is they haven't quit. Now that they have, turned in, consecutive impressive games, how have you seen their mindset or just their mental approach change as the season's progressed and now heading into this one?
To be honest, Mike, I said it last week. I said it week before. I said it after wins, losses. If you would be in this building and you would see these guys practice, it's like we're a 9-2 team. Every single day they're getting after it. They're loving coming to practice. They're giving great effort. They're studying. They're in there extra. So their mindset and things hasn't changed. But of course, anytime you're going through a rivalry week, that heightens it a little bit more for sure. That guys want to give a little extra, meeting times and things of that nature. But I think our attitude and effort has been phenomenal this whole season, and look forward to continuing that over these next couple of games.
Brian, this Kentucky team, whether that be through fumbles or interceptions. They turn the ball over a lot. I think they've done it 22 times this season. How big of an emphasis has that been this week in practice, especially considering you guys kind of saw firsthand turnover struggles of your own last year?
It's very critical. I think the team that wins the turnover margin, and play a really good disciplined football game will be the team that comes out victorious this weekend. And, so hopefully we can, allow, our offense, more opportunities to be able to put points on the board by getting turnovers. And if we can do that, I think that it'll be a good day for the Cards.
Hey, Coach, Dalton Pence, Cardinal Sports Zone. We know that Wandell is one of the more dynamic players in college football, but Liam Cohen and that offensive coaching staff does a great job of getting him the ball. I mean, a lot of people think of him as a deep threat, but they get him open in screens, jet sweeps, over the middle and slot situations. How challenging is it not only to have to game plan for someone that talented, but also in a scheme that prioritizes getting him the ball in such a variety of different ways?
Well, I think if you looked at our offense over the last couple of years, you think back to 19 and 20, when we had a Tutu Atwell. It's a lot similar. You think of it, just kind of how Boston College uses, Zay Flowers. It's similar in that, way that where you got to know where he is, and you got to do a good job of staying on top and being able to tackle him and tackle him on screens and things of that nature. So it is challenging. But I think our guys up for the challenge, and hopefully we can show that on Saturday.
Hey, Brian, Scott mentioned after the game against Duke, like he didn't know a lot about the UK Louisville rivalry. Like, of it, but you didn't experience it. You really don't learn what it's about. Mm-hmm. How much did you learn from that 2019 game, and then in the nearly 2 years since then?
I can say that it's very, 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 very similar up there to the rivalry that, I was involved with, playing and coaching as well with the Egg Bowl, the Ole Miss and Mississippi State rivalry. It's just like it, didn't know the extent of it as well, but, but most definitely know it a whole lot better now. So I think we're ready for the challenge, and I know the other team is as well. So we'll see what happens on Saturday night.
All right, guys. Good.
Appreciate it, fellas. Have a good one, man.